YouTube. Hey, what's the how about www. Surreal Talk Podcast Live. And did you do the description here?
It's not completely filled out yet. I'm in a hurry, okay?
Oh, right. Hey, what's the oh fuck, I gotta turn this down. Where's my goddamn mouse button at? All right. Hello. Damn, y'all on CP time today. What the fuck's that mean? Colored people.
You said that.
That's funny.
Cracks me up. All right. Apologies, this is Eric's fault.
Excuse me?
What?
Did you say follow you on Instagram? Your name's Jesus at fault?
I don't know what that means.
I just thought that's what you said.
That's not what I said.
How can you be sure that that's not what you
I
said?
recall. Check one. No, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, why not? Sounded fine to me.
Check 1, 2.
Team Red Rocket.
How do you sound? Can I hear you?
For show. What?
Let me hear you.
Can you
talk, motherfucker. That's what I mean. Talk.
I think I just was.
Okay, well.
Where'd you get this guy at, Armand?
What are you guys doing?
Today, we're talking about everyone being Wacko and Waco.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Jan Reno's the main wacko.
Russell Burns says he's from the Waco area.
Oh.
Cool.
He's a Wacko.
I'd like to be David Koresh.
Would you?
Yeah.
Was that? He had a lot of
Be a
wives?
good cult leader.
You know, he had a shit ton of children, too, right?
Well, yeah, he fucked everybody's wife, right?
Well, he
He made them to give his It was a pretty fucked up situation down
Yeah,
there.
a cult. Shit.
The one lady said it didn't start as a cult, but it definitely fucking ended as
They
one.
always do. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Excuse me.
Scott's going to have to stop representing us. Well, you know, I mean, whatever.
Why?
We didn't hire you in the first place, Scott. We just appreciated it. You got to do what you got to do.
He can be wait, what's his retainer?
Scott's retainer? Does he have one?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
I don't know. Fuck. I accidentally created an extra video. You know what? I'm not sorry, man.
About what?
That stream shit I did a couple minutes ago on accident.
Yeah, you know, you really fucked it up there.
I'm deleting it.
Susan says she's been watching a David Koresh documentary since 3 because she couldn't wait.
Sorry. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer got kicked out of the fucking all-you-can-eat and he went fishing.
Yeah.
Does this sound like the actions of a man who's had all he could eat?
Hey, what'd you do when they threw you out? I drove around town for 20 minutes.
I can't do a Marge voice right now, but we went fishing. That was more like a Soma.
Sir, is it true you one time consumed a 10-pound bag of flour when there was no other food was available? Yes.
It's one of my favorite episodes of Simpsons, man. All right.
Are we ready?
I gotta redo the fucking description real quick.
That's for certain. You still haven't got Sky his t-shirt?
No, it's my wife's fault.
You suck at
Just kidding,
life.
April. Dude, why don't you get the shirt? It's here. It's in the office. I'm a piece of shit, okay? This is well documented.
You have to give that to me,
Scott.
and I will take care of it.
Scott, and we're running so far behind. I don't know that we're even going to get to his giveaways today. He gave me a couple movies to give away today, by the way. Scottrick, you're
Yeah.
So
I'm
Scottrick of Seagerton. Yeah. But we're running so far behind today, I don't know that we're going to get to it. Unless you want to do it real quick. You want to run a contest? Don't do a 1 through 10 because people are tired of 1 through 10.
All right, I got you.
And you know what? 1 through 10. 6. There, I saved you the time, folks.
All All right, so we're going to do a contest real quick while Everett's figuring out a couple of things, and we're going to give away
Yeah, please do this. Handle it. Fucking
we're going to give away a couple of free movie downloads. Is that what we're giving away?
Yeah, I don't remember for what. Scott, what are we giving away the movie downloads?
Scott could tell you April, you son of a bitch. Scott, what are we giving away here? Scott donated these movie downloads for us to give away to the people because Scott's a very nice guy. So it's a couple movie downloads. I'll tell you how we're going to do this here. We are going to... Oh, fuck. Aaron Bruce already said 6.
Shit, he already won.
I didn't even get to say like what we were doing, and he already knew.
Oh, yeah. It's The Fate of the Furious. We're giving away a theatrical and extended edition. So 2 prizes today, courtesy of
one winner?
Scottrick of Seagerton.
Two prizes, 1 winner?
I don't think so. I think it's 2 different prizes. There will be 2 winners. I don't know.
You better figure that out before I pick 2 winners. See what the fuck I got to deal with here?
We have 2 codes, so we can give away one to both to one person, or to do 2 people.
Yeah, but what is the other one a code for something else? Like
no, one is a code for The Fate of the Furious original theatrical movie. The second is the code for Fate of the Furious extended director's cut.
Okay, all right. So we'll be giving away the Fate and the Furious. What's that? The latest Fast and Furious?
Fast and the Furious.
Can they
8.
please just quit fucking making
Fast
those?
and the Furious 77.
Right. Is Vin Diesel alive in this?
Vin Diesel the third is actually in here.
Oh, this is his grandson playing in this.
It's Hominick Toretto.
Son of a bitch. All right, so it's 2 different codes. Scott says. So
he wants us to do 2. Okay. It's on you. I'm typing. I've taken off my headset.
Oh man, I can't really give like Star Wars trivia because I'd fuck everybody. No one really knows it.
Do Fast and the Furious trivia. You've seen the first couple of those movies.
All right, yeah, okay. So hell, I've only seen the first 3, but since we're giving away Fast and the Furious movie, we'll do some Fast and the Furious trivia. What the first one to type it in is going to be the winner. I gotta think of a good one.
Oh, you're so.
What was Paul Walker's famous line when he got beat by Vin Diesel in the beginning of Fast and the Furious Part 1? Walked up to him and said...
What was the question?
Oh, the next one's going to be Star Wars for sure. Everybody's like, oh, Star Wars. Yeah. What was the line Paul Walker said to Vin Diesel when he walked right up to him after he got beat?
Oh, I remember.
You know it, don't you?
Yeah, I want to say it right now.
No, you can't win.
There's a delay. Like, somebody will surely get it before I get out and...
I wouldn't count on that, though.
That's easy. Hold on. Is it,
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is that your camera? Because I feel like they could see you just
My camera's right there. No, I moved over. It's this one.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your money, bitch. That's not it. Up, Tack Jesse, she wins. I almost had you. Dude, almost. Thomas Maroon was second, though. It was close second by Thomas.
Yeah, it looks like it's Jess.
She won.
Yeah.
All right. You never even owned your car. And it's had. You never had. You don't. Oh,
you never even had. I almost had you, bro. You never even had your car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He goes, yo, you hear this? He almost had me. And then he says, you never even had your car. So next one's Star Wars trivia. Now, that one was for the theatrical version?
That was for theatrical. Jess.
All right, now
I'll get
this
that to you here later on today, maybe, probably.
Okay, and then... no, you won't, you asshole.
I will.
And this one's for the theatrical. No. The director's cut of...
No. Extended, man. Extended directors.
Extended director's cut. Okay. Who was Count Dooku's master?
Which master?
His Jedi master.
Okay, well then.
Yeah, I guess, you know what? You're right. I should have been way more specific.
Oh, so Jess doesn't need the movies? She owns all those movies?
That's what she says.
I don't know. Anyway.
Man, I'm telling you.
Leave me alone.
I can't wait. This David Koresh is some very crazy stuff. He really is like Manson, you know? Like, he reminds me a lot of Charles Manson. Mr. Bates. Scott, Master Bates. Nope, that was the wrong answer. It's not Master Bates. His Jedi Master. Count Dooku's Jedi Master. Who trained him? Who did he Padawan under? Wrong, Tom. Not Mace Windu. Obi, nope. Nope. Well, Azrael, Sidious was his Sith master, who was his Jedi master. Who did he Padawan under?
That's easy. I can't believe nobody's got this.
I can't either. It's crazy. Are you done now? Can we start this show?
I'm not done.
What do you got left, man? Shit. Bushmaster. I could get you a job. Everett, I get you a job.
What?
Down at the hooks, or down at the docks, baiting hooks.
Yeah, if I work at it long enough, I might be able to work myself to a...
6 months later, you'll be a masturbator.
All right, I'm almost done here. Scott's like, I'm going to have to give questions and answers.
Azrael won.
Yes, Scott, that would be helpful.
Azrael won. But I feel like it was so long he had to Google it. Qui-Gon Jinn. Oh God, no, and that's just a. I don't want to like judge you, but that's a piss poor spelling. It's Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon. The Merciless. Did I tell you after Allison's video she asked me who was doing her merch?
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, I know, Susan. Azrael won. Azrael won. He said it before he said Sidious. Did he really? Or Sidious. Oh, he did win. Yeah, he did say it before he said Sidious. Yeah, so Azrael, whoever that is, you'll have to email us at info@Surreal Talk podcast. Or
Whoever that is.
yeah.
Welcome to the show, dude.
Well, no, I mean he could be somebody from the group, but that's his YouTube name, and I don't know I don't know. It could be somebody we know. It might not be.
Some asshole I ain't ever heard before named Azrael, Laser A. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah, he won. So email us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com with your credentials, and Everett will. You know, if you could give me your credit card number, email address, social security number, birth date. All that good stuff. That's all we'll need to send you the code. So just get us that. We'll get taken care of. Maybe. Are you done yet? Are you freaking done yet?
Huh.
Because like right now it's like seven hours into the video. You're gonna have to put it in the description.
We're 12 minutes
Start
in?
at 7 hours.
I didn't even do it last week.
You suck. For real?
I'm almost done. Fucking spelled shit wrong. I'm way off my game.
Condom size, but that's for something different. Or I could just email you. Yeah, that's what I said. Email us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com. Oh, yeah, instead of giving me all that stuff. Yeah, I didn't think you would. It was just a joke. Why is that doing that, Everett?
I don't know. Don't worry about that. At least it's got the chat going. That's the important part.
It's doing it right there, too.
It says it's offline. It doesn't know any better. I'm not going to go mess with it because that's the one that's got our chat. You know what I mean? Is our chat being cut off? Kind of looks like it. I'm going to go.
No, it's not being cut off.
Yeah, it is.
What are you talking about?
It's being cut off a little on the right. Refresh that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, the word something was cut off in half.
Change the description. It's 93.
93 what?
Everett, Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
Shut up.
Can I take it?
What are you going to do?
You should me take a nap?
I'll fucking stab you in
You
the
should me
head.
take a nap? Is that what I
Calm
need to do?
down.
Let's take a
Just
nap. I'll
calm
just take a nap.
down. You know what, Christine? I don't need your help. If Eric was this late, I'd stab him too. It's not just that I'm this late. There's
He's
stuff that
this
has
late.
to be done.
Like-
We were both late today. It's not just me. I don't see you over there setting up streams or typing in descriptions.
I already did that.
Oh, fuck you. I want to stab you.
Didn't I just set the stream up? I just typed the description up. What else do I got to do? I run the entire podcast. What do you want me to do?
I want you to shut up. You run the entire podcast? All right, let me print out our sheets and we'll go, okay?
All right.
You happy, everybody?
So the show's going to be on Sunday after all.
Motherfuckers.
Yes. There's a super delay on the chat. Either way, one of them will be bitching, that's for sure. Yes.
Thanks, Ape.
Yes.
Glad you piped in.
Dude, I wonder why my face is sideways in my picture.
What are you talking about?
My YouTube picture.
For today? Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, though.
It's sideways.
You're sideways. All right, print, change, laser jets, print, copies, dos.
Dos Equis?
No, not the beer, man.
Dos Tequila, por favor?
Dos cervezas.
Oh, mucho cerveza.
Más cerveza. More. Well, that printer's not working. I'm going to print to both printers. Because they're like in, what do you call it?
I'm tired of your shit.
I'm tired of your shit.
Tired of your shit.
Tired. As Chris Rock once said.
Tired of, man.
It's like, you ever see The Office? No, you never watch The Office. Oh, it's spooling down on the other end.
Dude, you're absolutely right. Old boy won, though. Don't yell at Eric. Everybody's telling you don't yell. I didn't think he yelled at me. I mean, I appreciate that, but...
Don't yell at him?
Yeah. They thought you were yelling at me, I guess.
What? It's just the way we talk.
Yeah.
I will fucking kill you if you let them think that again. You little rat bastard. No, I'm just kidding.
He abuses me.
You ain't seen abuse yet, boy. All right, I think it's printed. I'll be back. Don't you do no calls for help while I'm gone either.
I wish you'd hurry up and give me some help down here quick. This is 333 North Edwardsville Road. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, he'll get it together. I'm the one that tore the fucking tree down today. I don't know what he did. He probably fucking dunked his head in the toilet a few times. I don't know. I cut a whole fucking tree up, though. I was on time. Believe this fucking guy? Blink twice if you need help. I think that was twice. This is a great first impression. I apologize, Susan. It usually isn't like this. Everett's just having a rough day today. He's, everything's not working out quite like it should, but we're pretty close now. We should hear that beautiful bean footage probably close to 2 minutes, I'm thinking. The dude is Eric Cranston from... Oh, hey, what? Oh, right on. What's up, bud? Eric, take it away. Start the show. Improvise. Eric is Eric's bitch. Nick, that is not the fucking case. And Christine, I would start the show, but I don't know how to run the music. He really does have to do all that stuff because I don't know how to do it. I'm just saying. And I'm in no way, shape, or form his bitch, fuckhead. Nick. Soledad. Fucker. But honestly, whoever wants the code can have it. I don't need it. Oh, all good. All good. Are you ready?
Pretty much. You ready?
Yeah, they're like, start the show, improvise. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to turn the music on.
Improvise, yeah, sure. How?
Yeah. I could probably fucking go over there and push a bunch of buttons, but we'd probably be in worse shape than we are right now if I did that. So.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Check 1, 2.
Check. It's not coming through in the intro, right? Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it. Right.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's true. You think you know the whole story? Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. Lineupmedia.fm production. And we're back this week with one hell of a show.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. And we got to remember to rate this show this week because we decided we were going to start doing that. At the end of every show, we're going to give it a rating how we felt that it did. Because some shows we think suck, and other people are like, oh, it was a great show. I think they probably just like, you know, you did good, guys.
Yeah, hopefully.
They suck. But so what are we talking about today?
This week we are talking about, and we're going to call the show, They're All Wacko in Waco. Is that what we're calling it? No, Everyone's Wacko in Waco. We're talking about the Branch Davidians.
Wacko in Waco.
In the 1992 siege of their compound in Waco,
93.
Texas.
93.
Was it 93?
I said that earlier. Yes.
God damn it. It's been a long morning. Anyway, the siege of their compound, which ultimately led to the deaths of over 70 of them, several DEA and FBI, DEA agents, and pretty much changed the way people thought about sideways religious groups.
Well, I mean, this was like everyone's first real dose of cult. You know, I mean, mine anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I was probably 10 years old when this happened, but I remember, I mean, it was on the news. It was a huge thing, and everybody kept calling it a cult. It was my first actual dose of cult. You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder who the first
I can't
people
remember.
So yeah, it
any
comes
other
up in the
cults
news
other than that one right there.
We'll get to that part. Let's talk about first and foremost the people involved. David Koresh.
Yeah,
everybody knows
real name though, Vernon Wayne Howell.
Vernon Wayne Howell. Everybody knows him as the leader of the Branch Davidians and the mastermind behind everything. So again, his real name isn't David Koresh. It's Vernon Howell. Koresh is the Hebrew word for the name Cyrus, which is a king from the Bible. I'm to understand. I'm not that learned.
Right.
So let me bring up his Wikipedia page so I can not talk like a dumbass.
You mean wiki?
Yeah. Long morning.
What are you doing, man?
What did I just say? I forgot to bring up the tab. Anyway, born in 1959 in Texas. Boy, I'm fucking it up already, ain't I? Yeah, anyway. So earlier in his life, he was kind of the loner in high school, the outsider. He was still really into religious. He was that kid that would walk around in the halls.
He didn't have a lot of friends.
Well, no, he was the one that would tell you that you're going to burn. He was that kid. That would walk around the halls. Christ is coming. Yeah, exactly. That kid from high school.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, God, you don't have to name names without naming names. I had the kid in my mind already. In his early life, though, after he got out of high school and did some run around, he was 22 years old. He actually impregnates a woman when he was younger. Has a kid. He's never in the kid's life.
Gee, you don't say.
Yeah, it was the first sign that the kid was full of shit. Wasn't that his first time, though?
That was his first one, yeah.
Yeah, so on the time he lost his virginity, how did that work, man? I'm trying to remember how he
Well,
met that lady.
it's real easy, Everett. If you want after the show, I'll give you the talk about the birds and the bees on how that whole thing works. So
No, remember, shut up. He seen this woman, and I think she seduced him, didn't she? Was the story?
Yeah, the older lady, she was an older woman, right? And she's the one that owned...
No, I don't think she was older.
Oh, man, what are you doing here?
Well, when we did all of our research yesterday, I guess I wasn't as...
I'm talking about Lois Roden.
No, Lois Roden's the one who runs the Branch Davidians.
Mount Carmel.
Yeah, we're not to that yet.
We'll get it then.
We'll get it then. Well, how about we talk about where the Branch Davidians come from? Branch Davidians are actually the Davidian Seventh-day Adventist. They're a Reform church, or Reform movement that was spun off by a guy named Victor Hoteth from the actual Seventh-day Adventist church. So the Davidian side of it is actually pulls from the biblical King David. The same place that...
Oh, that gal's name that he knocked up was Rachel Jones. She was 14 years old when he was 22.
So it wasn't a seduction thing.
Yeah, it was...
How is this so far out of my head? We just looked all this up yesterday and talked about it.
No, but that's just like his first case in a long line of child abuse. You know what I mean? Like, this just goes to show you what kind of guy he was even before the cult, because this is before he got into the, and did all that. He was younger.
That's not the girl that he knocked up. She was... No. You're wrong. She remember, she was part of the cult. He picked her up late at night. Her parents told her she was going to go with him. You don't remember that at all?
No, that was this gal right here.
No, you're wrong.
I'm Googling it.
Okay. Google Rachel Jones then. He actually claimed, David Koresh claimed he could commune with God, which is another weird thing.
Well, he didn't think that he was Jesus Christ, but instead he thought he was the second
Messiah.
Yeah, the second.
Right, that came later, though, the whole I'm the second Messiah thing, before he even came up with the name, or after he came up with the name David Koresh. For the longest time, he was just Vernon Howell, member of the Branch Davidians. So eventually he starts an affair with Lois Roden, like you were saying, who is the leader of the church at that time. So he becomes a prophet in the church, gives his own vision of how the world's getting ready to come to an end.
Yeah, and he had everybody believe in that.
Right,
like,
everybody was on his
crazy.
side at that point in time. Lois Roden loved him. They, like I said, they had an affair. Her son George, though, was not really into the whole thing. And eventually there was a power struggle when his mom was no longer able to effectively govern the church. So George and David eventually get into a power struggle. And it ends with not really the expulsion, but kind of the exile of Koresh and many of the people who would only follow him.
Yeah, they pretty much
leaving the
broke
church.
in half.
For 3 years they were gone. And George led the church. Eventually they come back, Koresh takes over, and, you know.
Well, she died was the reason they came back, right?
You know, I don't know.
That was the guy's mom. George's mom was the chick that David was sleeping with. It was the older lady that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
remember?
Lois.
Yeah.
One of the problems, though, I think what it was with George, he was just too mentally unstable, which is pretty bad whenever you're more mentally unstable than David Koresh coming in.
Right. Yeah. That he doesn't seem like he has all of his ducks in a row to me.
So, like I said,
well, but the thing about him though, he's really smart and very manipulative. He was a real sociopath. You know, this guy.
That's
I feel
fair.
like.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos you'll see of him sitting around in a group, playing a guitar and trying to be the center of attention. I kind of feel like that's who this guy was. He reminds me in that regard of Charles Manson, for instance.
Well, okay, so how so?
Well, Charles Manson, he was a failed musician. He was a guy that wanted the girls. He wanted to be the center of attention. And eventually, when he couldn't get that, he gets people to come to him and put him on a different type of pedestal. That's the way I feel about Charles Manson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One way or another, he's going to draw the admiration of at least some people, and a cult forms around them. That's similar with what David Koresh was. Such a magnetic personality.
It's just crazy to think like what type of person would be susceptible to this sort of like brainwashing and actually, you know, I mean, you really got to give it all up. Everything. Like you have to give.
That's a good question.
I mean, even the guys were expected to give their wives to him.
Well, eventually, he passes a law in the church that eventually says there can be no other unions other than him and the women. The men are expected, if they're married, to basically not be with their wives anymore. Then they must also be celibate. Did you know about that part of the rule? Not only can you not have this wife, you also must be celibate.
Really?
Yeah. Really.
Oh, well, he was just making it hell for the men then.
They didn't care. They're there because they drank the Kool-Aid, man. They knew in their hearts that the world was coming to an end. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So in a time where the world's coming to an end, and you've got a prophet explaining to you how it's going to happen, Koresh claims to have figured out the key to the book of Revelations, how to unlock the 7 seals, so to speak. And there's been movies and prophecies and all kinds of talk of the 7 seals throughout history. It doesn't need any introduction. But whenever you got a guy like that who's so keyed in, who claims to commune with God, who claims he's a Messiah, you're not thinking about how what he's saying is wrong. You're thinking about how can I make sure my place in the afterlife is secure.
Right. Well, he's a real slick talker because when I watched a lot of the interviews of people that were actually in the cult and that, you know, are giving the interviews today of their mindset back then was that, you know, hey, you know, they were told even as kids, like, you don't have to go to college because you're not going to grow up. Like, this world's going to end. So, I mean, like, that was their whole thinking. Like, they didn't...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? They were 100% trusted in him that was going to happen. That
their plan for the future involved eternity, not next Thursday type of thing. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
So, blows my mind. Let's go back to that, though. We were asking what type of person, honestly. I mean, you can cop out and say sheeple will always follow somebody like this, but it seemed like there was so many different kinds of people in there, from standard working class people to poor people to people who had money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. There wasn't
or any
just
cult. Any cult. You know, what attracts people to these cults? Look at Scientology, for instance, which again they're an official religion, but they have all the hallmarks of a cult. They started around L. Ron Hubbard, who built the thing up, creating the Sea Org.
Yeah, I mean they're an official religion, but not like I mean, you know, they got that status because they blackmailed a bunch of people.
Our
in the
religion's
IRS.
usually ancient.
I mean, I don't guess they have to be.
I guess what is it? The Mormons aren't really that.
No,
ancient.
no, that's not very.
But that's still based on
1850s
Christianity,
or something.
though. That's still based on Christianity. So is the Branch Davidians. It's all based on the Bible, New Testament in this case. Not Scientology.
I don't know that Mormons is Christian.
Yeah, they are. They're a type of Christianity.
That's like the
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Mormons is polygamous,
True.
right?
They're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Is that what that is?
Jesus Christ. Christian.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is that's Christianity, though? That's not nothing different than
It's
that?
Mormonism, but, it's still
a sect of
Christian. It's like Catholicism. You're still Christian.
Right, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I don't know. We don't have enough.
We didn't go to a lot of Bible study when we were children, did we?
No.
So, like we were saying before, Koresh had banned everyone in his cult, so to speak, from taking a wife, and he took all these wives, and he was attempting to create.
If you came in with a wife, he would take her.
Right.
It was his wife.
Right. He was attempting to create at least 24 children as a group of elders for the new world. He read somewhere in Revelations that there would be a group of children being born, and they would be the elders numbering 24 or something like that. They would have God's DNA, and they were going to rule the world. And since he was a Messiah in his eyes, basically the next best thing to God, and he had God's DNA more or less, it was on him to create these 24 children. So he took all these wives and was well on his goddamn way to creating these 24 children. I don't know exactly how many kids he fathered down there.
He had a lot, though.
But it had to be well over a dozen.
It was a few.
If you watch the videos, you can see there's dozens of little kids running around. He's got 4 or 5 of them up on him. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, he was so into the seventh seal crap. Like, man, I don't even know, dude. Like, me, myself, like, it's so hard to picture people, like, not calling bullshit. Like, living in there,
Okay,
how
so
do you not call bullshit on this guy?
You're being very hypocritical here.
You're right. I mean, I guess I am.
Look at your subject matter and the fucking type of stuff you used to call me and tell me to look up. We did a show not 3 or 4 weeks ago on Sasquatch.
This is true.
So you can't really dismiss everything immediately without giving a little bit of a thing. Who knows? We don't know that there is or is not a God. We don't know that if.
But we do know that David Koresh is not the God that we might not know or.
Yeah,
know
it didn't
or
work
not.
out like how he thought. But the point of the matter is, we don't know if there's an Old Testament God, New Testament God, any kind of God. We don't know if the Bible is honestly his real rules interpreted. So,
but we know David Koresh, that's not his rules interpreted.
We didn't know that at the time.
We did too. Bullshit. This was only 25 years ago.
Okay, we couldn't have been sure at the time. Think about it. The guy's claiming to be a Messiah. You don't know till he's dead. As soon as he dies and the heavens open up, and the heavens don't open up.
Come on. You pretty much fucking know.
99.9999% chance. But I'm telling you, there's a chance. You get what I'm saying? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if Bush did 9/11. That could be the chance goes the other direction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't immediately say it's not possible.
I don't know, man. It gets me because, like, the females of the group, so, like, they weren't allowed to refuse him. Like, you can't refuse him.
Oh, there was the
one gal that did. Because he came up to her and was like, "Hey, I'm taking you tonight. You're gonna be
my wife."
Yeah, and she's no, I'm not. The only
She's
way
like,
you're taking me
I
is
will
by
go
force.
with you, and if you take me and have sex with me, I will press charges.
She said the only way I'm going with you will be by force, and
Yep.
if it has to go like that, it'll be considered rape, and I will call the cops. So
Good for her, I
Yeah,
say, man.
and she was the one that did the interview. Remember the last video that we watched? She was, but again, at the same time, she says when she was there, it was 100% real. It was, like that was what was going on, and you know what I mean.
Well,
There was
right.
nobody was there to tell you no. Everyone around you was like, this dude's right. I mean,
Yeah, well, they're all drinking the Kool-Aid. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're part of the club at that point. You don't want to be the one guy in the corner going, I don't know, guys. Because they'll kill
well, I
you.
mean, eventually he separated the sexes in the compound.
Right.
Yeah, so he would say he separated the men and the women. You know what I mean? They weren't sleeping like together in the same sides of the compound or anything anymore. Now, I don't know much about that anointing procedure from the Bible.
We'll get to that anointing procedure. That's great, but that's
fucked.
That's in the middle of the whole siege. Speaking of the siege, so that whole thing starts up from a rumor going around that these Branch Davidians in their compound in near Mount Carmel in Waco, Texas, are building up a massive gun cache.
Yeah, the ATF got word that they were stockpiling firearms and
not
turning regular arms into automatic weapons, machine guns.
Semi-automatic rifles, turning them into full machine guns.
Yes.
Which you cannot do,
No,
apparently,
it's
in the
fully
United
illegal.
States
That's
without
illegal.
permission from the government. You can't.
You have to have...
You can't modify or create from scratch an automatic weapon without permission.
Not at all.
So that was their number one problem with it. The number two problem with the Branch Davidians was allegations of child sexual abuse.
Yes.
And sexual misconduct, which, I mean, where's
that
that
ran.
You can't say that he was molesting children. I mean, sure. Okay, the 14-year-old girl, her parents consented by law.
I don't give a
Hold on.
fuck.
By law, they were married. They consented. He took. So by law, you got to give that to him. Fine. You went by law, Texas law even.
Okay, so you're not...
I'm not saying morally it's right. I'm not judging morals at that point.
Right.
The law said...
Legally, he's in the clear on that one.
Right. Legally, he's in the clear on it. He might be doing worse. But that...
Didn't that video we watched said something like 25 wives was what he had or some shit like that? It was insane. Remember?
It was
I
a
was
bunch of
asking
wives.
you, I was like, how can you even get married that many times in a row? Like, there's got to be a point where they're like, bro, you were up here 3 weeks ago getting a marriage certificate for a
First of
different
all, he's
chick.
not getting marriage certificates. The guy who runs the religion, he says we're married, we're married.
We're married. Oh yeah, so he's just
the people, like the wives he took, were still married legally to their husbands. It's not like they got annulments, or maybe they did get official church annulments, but they're not getting.
They were
legal,
David Koresh approved.
Right.
Annulments.
Let me sign this fucking piece
Yes.
of toilet paper roll.
Exactly.
But they weren't going down to the judge and actually getting
No.
full dissolution of marriage. So he could have as many wives, quote unquote, as he wanted. To make it a wife in the religious side, he's just got to consummate the marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that. Where are we going about for that?
I mean, he's a pedo. I'm gonna throw it out there. He's a pedo. I don't care. Pedo.
Well, he could have been.
He's a pedo.
So they get the idea, or they get word from whoever this kind of shit's going on, and they decide, from what I understand, to just go ahead and roll up heavy and take a look, instead of going up to the door, knocking on the door, and saying, hey, we've heard some reports that you're stockpiling weapons, and there might be some bad things going on with children here. They roll up full, it's DEA at this point, not DEA.
No, it's ATF.
ATF rolls up, guys hanging off the cars, the full thing, and the people on the inside have somehow gotten word of what's going on. So DEA rolls up, and it's already basically to a breaking point before anybody even talks.
Yeah, it's about 9:30 a.m. and it's Sunday, February 28th. The ATF tried to raid the Branch Davidian compound. Gunfire erupts. 4 ATF agents killed. 16 are wounded. Many Davidians are also killed or wounded, and I think the number was actually 7 were mortally wounded in that exchange on the 28th of February.
On both sides?
No, 7 just in the Davidians. There were 4 ATF agents killed and 16 wounded, and that's just ATF. Now, the Davidians, I believe there were 7 mortally wounded. And then it said the FBI becomes the lead agency in resolving the standoff. So after this initial, I don't know if you could call it a fuck up, but after this initial firefight that they had at the beginning of them going up just to kind of address the situation, after the initial firefight where 4 ATF agents got killed, 16 were injured, and 7 Branch Davidians were mortally wounded, the FBI came in. And they're like, look, we're taking over the siege.
Right.
We're taking over negotiations. We're taking over the investigation. We're going to
you'll see the interviews. If you go to look into this a little bit more, you'll see interviews with a guy who is, I'm pretty sure he was in the FBI. He talks about getting a phone call and saying, hey, there was a raid and it went real bad, man. We need to get you down here now. So they fucked it up. They knew.
Yeah, no, they knew they did.
They knew right off the bat they fucked it up.
So the very next day, now that was Sunday, March 28th.
Hold on. Well, I want to talk about one more quick thing. We came across in our research, people were talking about how this raid, honestly, wasn't so much about the Davidians as it was the ATF trying to play themselves up in the eyes of a left-leaning Congress.
Yes.
Giving them a target of a crazy religious organization who are stockpiling weapons, which at the time the lefts were way against that. Gun control, gun control, gun control. The right-wingers are, your NRA type of people. So this going after a religious group with lots of guns, that makes Congress go, hey, the ATF's on our side. They're doing what we want them to do.
Right, yeah.
So that's one of the thoughts people think that kind of led to this too. It's a cherry target. You know what I mean? This is a target that we couldn't ask for a better one.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're allegedly molesting kids and stockpiling weapons down there. They're doing their own thing. They feel like they don't have to answer to the government. Yeah,
I mean, you can imagine
they're coming in heavy on that one.
You can imagine a lot of people smiling, suiting up that day to go do this raid. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, those agents for sure. I bet they were. I honestly do.
Anyway, back to your story.
Right.
That's one thing I wanted to get out, though, is how this a lot of people think at least the start of this had something to do with getting funding and endearing themselves to Congress.
Okay, so that Sunday, David called 911 after the firefight, and 50 minutes into it, he went batshit nuts and talking about the Bible on the phone with the negotiators. But eventually, he negotiated a ceasefire, and the ATF, like I said before, had 4 agents dead. And it was 5 Branch Davidians mortally wounded and 7 others injured, including David Koresh. So he was shot. But he treated his own wounds. He refused medicine. He left it up to the Lord.
Yeah, there was a video. You can watch a video of him sitting there, and he shows the little bullet wound in his side. I have to really wonder if that's true, though. And another thing, whenever they did that initial raid and all those Davidians were shot, there's allegations that some of them were killed by Davidians on the inside after they were shot. I guess put down.
Really?
Yeah, that's one thing I came across during my research.
Oh, wow. Well, they sent 10 children out the very next morning. After all that shit happened, the FBI took over. They sent 10 children out.
None of Koresh's children, though.
No.
He was not sending any of his children.
No,
elders
and that be like the 24 that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, none of those kids are coming out. They're with him for the duration. Is his
for eternity thing. At this point.
Koresh says, and this is on Wednesday, so it's 2 days after that. Koresh says he will not surrender because he is dealing now with his father and not with your bureaucratic system of government. He delivers various rambling sermons focusing on biblical matters such as unlocking the 7 seals and interpreting God's intentions about the end of the world. So in this phone call, he's just fucking going completely nuts.
Yeah, I actually heard the what do they call it? You know, the actual recording of the phone call, and he's talking about, hey man, you just give me time to write out what my interpretation of the opening of the 7 seals is. It's going to be about 2 days per seal, and then I'll be coming out. I'll go to your jail. Everything will be fine, and it'll be over with.
Yeah, but that's still like a month and a half ahead of where I'm at.
I got a different call you're talking about?
Huge timeline. Yeah,
okay.
I got a huge timeline.
Well, lay it out for me, buddy.
Okay, so Wednesday, March 3rd, that's when I told you that he said he wasn't going to surrender, the bureaucratic system of government. He was dealing with the Lord now. Okay, so 2 days after that, Friday, March 5th, a 9-year-old girl named Heather Jones leaves the compound wearing a note pinned to her jacket. On the note, her mother states that once the children are out, the adults will die. Koresh and his right-hand man, Steve Schneider, denied that they will commit suicide. The very next day, 2:15 a.m., the electricity of the compound shut off. Koresh says he will not allow talk to continue until the power is restored. So he's not.
Like, I'm not doing any more negotiations.
No more negotiations until they turn the power back on. A short while later, the power is restored. But the FBI sees weapons in the windows and firing ports being cut and plywood placed in the windows. So they're cutting holes in the places of plywood so that they can put the rifle scopes through. So, I mean, they see that they're setting up. You know what I mean? They know what's going on. Saturday, March 13th, the David Koresh's right-hand man, Schneider, complaining that the people inside the compound are cold and freezing. At nightfall, the FBI begins to illuminate the compound with bright lights to disrupt sleep and put additional pressure on those inside to increase the safety of, the agents or whatever.
Sounds like to me they're just turning up the heat under the pot of water.
Yeah, okay, so Thursday,
Let's
March
get this
18th,
bitch boiling.
The FBI broadcasts a message to those in the compound over a loudspeaker. The message says that any members of the compound that come out will be treated fairly. 9 members exited the compound that day on Thursday, March 18th. So those people were like, at this point, they've probably been in this for under a month, about 3 weeks straight. This has been going on. And even David Koresh was quoted saying, I'm fucking tired of MREs. I'm done with these. You know what I mean? So, like, these people are like 3 weeks in.
You ever had an MRE?
I never have.
Really? So it's a misnomer that they're that bad. It's kind of like real food that's processed. Like, sometimes you'll even get, like, a pack of Skittles in your MRE. You can get soup, and they'll give you these chemicals in a bag with your soup. So you get a double bag type of situation. You pour this little chemical in it, and then you put your bag with your soup inside that bag. And then you pour water in the outside bag, and it hits that chemical, and it starts boiling real crazy and cooks your soup inside of your thing.
Cool.
MREs are nuts. You can get anything in them. So if you get down to your local, what are they called, Army Surplus, pick up a couple dozen. All right. That's all.
You done?
I'm done.
Can I finish?
Sorry.
All right, so another Davidian, Rita Riddle, comes out of the compound, and that was on Saturday, March 20th. So it's just looking like they're slowly staggering out. 2 more women come out on Sunday, the 21st. Livingston leaves the compound, the last one out during the standoff. So the last guy leaves out March 23rd. Okay, so Sunday, April 4th, Koresh calls his lawyers, and they meet with everyone. So they need to come out, and he wants to have a meeting with his lawyers or whatever. He refuses to confirm an exit date, but he tells the FBI and his lawyers to tell the FBI that I'm going to work on these. He's going to decode what you were saying, decode the 7 seals.
Right.
And what he required, 2 days. Told him he would need
said
2
roughly
days.
2
days per 7 seal. So they're looking at what, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. So you know what a breaking point was? After a couple days, they wanted.
It was like 4 days in.
Yeah, the FBI is like, "Hey, send us out what you got done. We kind of want to read it." You know what I mean? Just to check him to see if he's actually doing anything. And he gave nothing. There was no response for that.
Yeah, well, that was their final straw. They're like, look, this guy's dragging us on. He's telling us, oh, I'll come out and this and that, and it's gonna take me 2 days to do each seal. So it's been 4 days. Show us the first seal as a sign of good faith. He doesn't have anything. Won't give him nothing. Whatever. And they're like, okay, here's fuck you. Basically that was what they're saying in their mind. Okay, fuck you. We got you.
And one thing about the children that were released, they were interviewed by FBI agents, and apparently the children had came up and said that yes, there was physical and sexual abuse going on in the compound well before the raid. So
really,
now whether or not that's true or whether or not any kid ever actually said that, because again, I don't trust either the FBI or the ATF as far as I could throw them in this case.
No, not at all.
One, they came in with dubious reasons for starting it. Fucked it up bad, and they can't come off looking bad about this. So
no, and
who's to know what's been said or placed after the fact that is just hogwash?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the general feeling between the people inside the compound and then the agents outside, where like Koresh and all his people were like mooning the agents, and
oh, they were pissed off. Yeah,
the agents were playing like loud music of like it was sound. It wasn't music though; it was just loud noises over the
chickens being slaughtered.
Yeah,
apparently.
Chickens being killed and shit. Like this was a real back and forth like fuck you type deal. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't feel like those agencies acted as professional as they should have for,
Well, for one, I don't think they ever thought there was going to be a siege. They
didn't expect it to go like it happened.
Arresting a shit ton of people. And in fact, whenever they first did the raid, it was at the end raid of the first raid where they came at the time of day to cut. No, it was the second raid, wasn't it?
What?
Where they cut the men off from the women was their plan. To come in after the men have left for their chores, or was that the first?
That's how they planned on doing it. When the men had walked across the compound, they were
Oh, and it would seperate them from the armory. Was their
exactly?
Plan.
It separated them from the armory.
Let's get to that. On April the 19th of 1993. How did this go?
April 18th. It's a Sunday. Armored vehicles cleared Koresh's Camaro away from the front of the compound. Now, also, during the whole time of this siege, he would jog the perimeter every day. Just to show them, like they could have took him out, like if that was the plan. But I think he was arrogant enough to know that, like, this is on live TV. They're not going to snipe me while I'm jogging in the morning. But he would jog the perimeter of that compound every day, even during the siege. You know what I mean? Okay, so here we go.
And he drove a Camaro, though?
Yeah, it did. It said, armored vehicles cleared Koresh's Camaro away from the front of the compound, although the FBI warns the Davidians to stay put in the tower. They hold the children up in the windows, and in one window hold a sign saying, "Flames await." They did fucking start that.
The insiders did?
The people inside held that. Flames await.
Well, but to be fair, Koresh had talked about a part of that he had read in Revelations that allowed for the saving of a group of of lambs by building a fire around them to protect them.
Yeah, and they would be called right up into heaven. It's called a wall of fire. You build a fire all around you from the incoming attack, and then you're supposed to be called right up to heaven.
And I don't know where these recordings come from. They're supposedly of inside the facility. You could hear somebody saying, "Have you poured it yet? We need to move the fuel." Basically, sounding like that we poured the fuel inside.
Well, there was a bug in there. I don't remember if it was the FBI or the ATF, but somebody had a bug installed inside the compound. There was a bug in there, and that's where they got that tape from, where they were saying pour the fuel.
Oh, cool.
Because originally everybody was pissed off because they thought that the FBI started that big fire. It was something like 75 Branch Davidians died, and 25 children under the age of 15 died in that fire. So this was a big issue. It was like, okay, did the FBI start the fire? Did the people inside start the fire?
Well, they did ram through the front door with a fucking tank.
Well, and that's the thing. Everyone was saying, oh, well, when they ran through the front door with the tank and shot that tear gas round, because that's what they did. They came in with tanks into the front of this compound and rammed right directly into the front fucking door.
More or less trying to inject tear gas, but they went a little too far.
Blew fucking cartridges of tear gas right inside. You know what I mean? And they were saying that the propellant used to
disperse the tear gas,
shoot the tear gas, was flammable, and once they filled it up 3 or 4 or 5 shots in there, something caught. That was all it took.
Well, there was a fire marshal who was quoted as saying as soon as he saw the tank hit the front of the building and punch those holes in it,
he said it's going up.
Yeah, he knew this building was going to go up in flames anyway.
Yeah.
So whether or not they poured liquid, accelerant,
fuel
on the
oil,
floor,
yeah, either way,
kerosene, gasoline, whatever, whether or not the accelerant or the tear gas had something to do with it or the tank did it, it's probably a combination of the three. Did not help at all.
Yeah.
Any one of them might have caused a fire that might have burnt just a localized part of the building. But
so I think the big question in this is, though, like, it's the same as Han and Greedo. You know what I mean? Like, who shot first? Like, did the Branch Davidians shoot first, or did the ATF shoot first? Like, nobody.
In the case of Han and Greedo, it's quite easy. Han shot first.
It's not as easy as you think. No, because in the originals,
Han shot first.
No,
that's
no, no.
all you can't talk about.
Han did shoot first in the originals.
Right. That's all
now,
that matters. Greedo shot first.
Now Greedo shot first.
Right. I get that, but Han shot first.
Han did shoot first. So I even have that.
So it's
Who
more
shot
like,
first?
Okay. Well, it was the
It's fucking Greedo.
pretty much the FBI shot first.
Well, so
you see
the ATF claims that as soon as they exited their vehicles, when they were
original one,
and this is before the FBI ever came in. The ATF
Right.
claims as soon as they exited their vehicles, they were under fire. You know what I mean?
Have you seen the videos of the raid? I know you have. Did you? Were you paying much attention to where that guy was trying to climb in the second floor window, and you could see the machine gun fire come right out of the side of the building, strafe down the side of it next to the window, and just take him out.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, he's looking in the window, and I don't know how he doesn't hear or something going off because you can hear a machine gun fire.
And this is an agent?
This is an agent. He's perched up, second floor window, like on a roof, and then there's a window, like a side of the building. He's on the roof here, and there's the side of the building. There's an open window he's looking in. Well, there's a machine gun fire comes down the side of that wall. There's another roof up here. And nails him.
No shit. Took him out, huh?
Took him out.
Fucking bummer.
There's
man.
video of the other agents coming up there. You can see blood leaking out of his body all down the side of the roof. It's gross. They were fucking around. At the end of the day, though, after the fires are all said and done and everybody dies, and they get a hold of Koresh's body eventually and identify it, the autopsy shows that he did not die of the fire, smoke inhalation, or anything like that. He died of a gunshot wound to the head.
Yes.
Now, the coroner was very careful to say that I can't say that he shot himself, that this is a self-inflicted gunshot. I can't say. I can say a bullet went in his head. A lot of
He
people
got shot in the head, whether it was him that did or some.
There's a school of thought. People think he was such a pussy, he didn't want to die from the fire. He shot himself so he didn't have to burn.
Well, right, because that's probably a lot easier of a death.
Well, that and if he started the fire and shot himself in the head, can you imagine the kind of shittiness that is?
Oh, yeah, what a cocksucker. Like, you're going to let everyone else die like that, but I'm not.
Let them die. Kill everyone else like that.
True.
And then I'm going to go ahead and shoot myself so I don't got a barbecue. And then there's another school of thought, though, that thinks that his number two, Steve Schneider, shot him in the head and then shot himself.
No, I don't subscribe to any of those. You want to know what I think happened to him? I think everybody finally they're sitting there in this burning building, and it's their final moments, and they're looking at each other, and they're looking at this ignorant motherfucker that have done this to them, and they're like, you know what? Fuck you, because he did this. His fault.
That's what you would do if it's like you've been in a cult and they've in this whole time and nothing's gone right the way you said it was going to go.
My personal opinion, I feel like they came together and killed that motherfucker before they all died in that fire.
Yeah, they may have.
That's what I think. I think that you know what, you did this, pow, it's game over. That's what I feel like happened. I don't feel like he shot himself. I feel like
That's a good possibility.
It was a mutiny.
That could have been what Steve Schneider was thinking. You know what, motherfucker, you led us astray.
Right.
If anything, I'm going to be sure that you die.
Right. It was a mutiny. That's what I think.
So I like the way you described it. We were talking about earlier today about the very ultimate end of it all, whenever the FBI comes in and how it just went down. You described it as the FBI starts getting antsy, and they got in their fucking bubble with their fucking tanks. Is exactly what happened.
Well, and you asked me, like, what do you think started that? I'm like, they got in their bubble with their fucking tanks. Everybody's got a bubble. Mine personally, 18 inches out in front of me. Don't get in my fucking bubble. You stay outside of my bubble. That's my personal space and area. And I imagine them as Branch Davidians had a fucking bubble. Okay, don't get in our bubble. We're good. You're good over there. We're good over here. You stay the fuck over there. We'll stay over here. They got in their bubble with the tanks. That's all it took.
A couple good points coming through the chat. One about how Janet Reno was 3 days new on the job.
She's the one that gave the
She
authorized the use of
tanks and
tanks and
everything.
tear gas and all that. Janet Reno is
And never once was apologetic about the outcome of it. With all the
never
people
once
dying.
had to answer as to why she did that. Why
Right,
she
so
thought that
she's the,
use
she's
of
the
force
worst
was
one
necessary.
in this all that's probably all said and done, other than Koresh himself or
Yeah.
Vernon Wells, or what's his name? Is it Vernon Wells?
Vernon Wayne
Vernon
Howell.
Where did I get Wells?
Orson Welles.
Vernon Wells, I think, is an actor. Anyway, Lauren, he asked the question: how come the FBI breaks up these cults, but not other radical religions like in Dearborn, Michigan?
Oh, that's a very good point.
So we talked about it kind of. This wasn't so much about the cult; it was possibly about endearing the ATF to Congress, and they just looked like a cherry target.
there was political favors at play here. There were
Right. Who do you think told the news after this started happening that this was a cult? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These were just religious people, and then all of a sudden there's something going down. They were never on the news's radar. Then
Now they're a cult.
The ATF attacks them, and all of a sudden the news, hey, religious cult down here in Waco, Texas, the ever vigilant and trusty ATF is starting attacking this cult. They are a cult, and the ATF told us so. So I thought that's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, but they are a cult. I'm not going to say they're not.
No, they are.
But yeah,
They were.
They were. Well, they still exist. Actually, there's a sect of the Branch
Is there
Davidians,
Branch Davidians still?
but they don't. Actually, they did, at the same time still existed as another sect of Branch Davidians, and did not consider the ones who were Branch Davidians actual Davidians. So it's kind of like no,
Yeah.
that's wholly
You're,
separate.
You're too crazy to call
That's
yourself
not us.
Yeah.
I had a question too. What can turn a person into a cult leader? What type of life gets you ready to where you?
It's
want
got to
to be a cult
be. It's
leader?
got to be young life, and I'm no psychologist or
one.
psychiatrist or here, but I think that what it is you have to be extremely unfulfilled as a youngster. Like you don't get nurtured. None of your needs or wants get filled. So when you grow up, that's your main focus is fulfilling your needs and wants. And if you have to use other people to do that, so be it.
That's one type of cult leader. That's the type of cult leader I would say that is attention based. That they got to have some sort of club.
Now I would say Miscavige from Scientology would be that type of cult leader.
I would agree.
David Miscavige.
What about your real believers? Maybe Koresh was one, maybe not. The ones who,
Trauma.
like when he was a kid,
a lot of trauma.
who was way into Christ or way into
Oh,
religion.
he was very religious when he
so
was young.
he may or may not have been completely into it. And he may have liked the rock star status of being, the bad boy of religion. The doomsday's coming. Let's get some weapons going. Let's get some.
He could have been
wives.
abused himself. We don't
could
know that.
very well have
He
been.
was ultra religious. I mean, we know that stuff runs rampant in religion.
Do you think he had a compulsion to spread his belief more than what normal religious people do? Do you think that was part of him? Like,
Oh,
it takes it
most definitely.
or even
because
any cult leader, you think
most
that really
definitely
believe it?
It is a compulsion. It is because the people honestly
It burns them. It seems to burn them on the inside. They got to get this message out. They got to save people. The world is coming to an end, and if you don't know it, I got to let you know.
Now, I'm going to stop you there because that's only cult leaders that actually believe their own bullshit. Now, like
Right.
the one guy that got everybody to drink the Kool-Aid and then took their money and dipped,
Yeah, that was a bummer.
he's not that because he doesn't believe the bullshit that he's talking. He's playing you on. He's a con man. That's a con man. That's a different kind of cult leader. It's a con man.
Right.
One that doesn't believe what he's saying, doesn't
Agreed.
care. If
Well,
he
yeah,
just
there's
wants
no
you to believe
witnesses
it.
after the fact. I've collected
Exactly.
all the silver, and
yeah. So
I'm
there's the
done.
con man type also, and then there's the
What about the
batshit crazy.
You know
cuckoo.
much about the Heaven's Gate cult? The ones that
Yeah, they were waiting on that or that comet, right? Hale-Bopp comet.
Yeah, it was like 99, 2000, something like that, 2001, long ass time ago. Do you remember seeing that comet when it came around?
No,
It was in the skies for like 2 weeks. We lived on Monroe Street at the time. If you were in the
Yeah,
backyard,
but I didn't remember seeing
if you were
it.
in the backyard looking at the door of the house, if you look up in the sky and kind of looked over like that, you'd see it. It was about this long in the sky, a big ass fat fucking tail, and it was there for about 2 weeks.
Towards Severs.
No, opposite direction
way?
towards Van Prater. Like
Right.
you're at the garage looking across. It would have
Looking
been
up over
in
the top of the house?
right? Kind of in
Right.
a west-northwest sky.
Ah,
So that's where that was at. Anyway, that was around for about 2 weeks. At the end of it, these, 50-something people drink the Kool-Aid in their little bunk beds, and I believe in Colorado, and
Yeah.
all killed themselves, supposedly to be picked up by the spaceship that was following the comet.
it was at the tail. It was the spaceship was in the tail of the comet. It was
Right.
in the tail of that. That was Heaven's Gate, right?
Heaven's
cult?
Gate. We
yeah.
ought to do a show on that one of these days.
Yeah,
It was-
because that was pretty weird too.
But I feel like that can be covered in about 15 minutes,
Yeah,
sadly. Like this Branch Davidians is basically almost over in my eyes.
yeah. There's not a lot, but I still like the speculation of like what it takes to what kind of I mean, how do you finally get fed up with this? What does it take for you to realize this guy's an idiot? He's a bullshit artist. You know, does it take him trying to take your wife, or him having a kid with your old lady, or is it taking him? You know, what's the breaking point?
He had the story for the wives. We had a question in our notes. If the world's getting ready to end, why does he need 4 fucking wives? Right.
Right.
Later on in our research, become the whole story of the 24 children. That's his way he passes it off to everybody. We have to create these elders. I am a Messiah, fucking God blood.
Right.
These children will have God blood if they are from me. It's a pretty much a good little thing to get people to, you know, like, hey, I'm taking your wife and you're going to be okay with it.
Yeah, this is.
On the other end, it's weird that he had to be okay with making all those children. He's like, fuck it. You know, you can't play without fire without getting burned, right?
I know, and this is
it's probably
bad on my part, but I just can't help but think that people in there like, how do you fall for this? Like, and like I said, that's it. You know, because I don't feel like I could fall for something like that. But at the same time, it's like, how do y'all fall for this? Do you not see through this guy's bullshit? Like, how did what he's saying in your head sound like the truth?
It's a good question. Well, it's the same thing. Like Lauren brings up another good point about Joel Osteen and your televangelists.
Oh fuck. I
Those
can't
guys,
stand Joel Osteen.
They're the same type of guys that are con men. They prey on the weak. These old people, and it doesn't work so much anymore, but imagine in the 80s and 90s, like when our grandmas were older living, they sit around on their Social Security. All they got is their little shitty TV with their rabbit ears and their $600 a month, making their own canned food. Anyway, they're watching this stuff, and this guy on TV, they're near the prime or the end of their life. This guy's talking about, hey, you're going to be dead eventually. Praise Jesus. Send me your money right now. Call this number. Call this number now and pledge your money to everlasting faith.
Well, you know, a lot of older people actually committed suicide after Bernie Madoff did that with his big Ponzi scheme that he had. You know Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, right? Killed their whole nut, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's a little bit different than the whole religious thing.
You know,
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying they were giving their money to him or whatever, and then they figured out it was a scheme, and it was these old people give everything they had to him, you know. Fuck, they just offed themselves over
There's
and
a good movie about him on HBO. I forget what it's called, but it's got Robert De Niro in it, plays Madoff.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know. What else you got today on the Wackos?
I don't know, man. And
who's to blame?
That's what I was getting ready to say. So, like, who is worse at fault here? And I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could have been handled.
Put it like this. I'm going to put the blame for the escalation of the situation strictly on the ATF. One, other than the alleged turning of the weapons into automatics, that was alleged, and alleged sexual abuse. These are just allegations. You don't roll up on allegations. You send somebody in ahead of time to investigate the situation.
Yeah, you need evidence. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Maybe they had that. Maybe they thought what they had was good enough. But it doesn't seem like it to me.
No.
So, one, they roll up premature, seemingly guns a-blazing, claiming that the Davidians, as soon as they got out of their car,
they rolled up with a show of force is what it was. It wasn't so much that.
Like
it's
you said, it burst their bubble. And these people, yeah, they thought the end times were coming. They thought that this government that they weren't, you know,
more than that, they don't have to. They don't have to answer to this government,
right?
That's not what they're.
They answer to God.
They answer to David Koresh and God. So this government, this bureaucratic, as he called it, this bureaucratic system of government, even the members, they don't give a fuck about the police. They don't care about the army or the ATF because that's a non-factor in their life. You know what I mean? They spend their time on this compound.
I agree.
Dealing with this bullshit that they have to deal with David Koresh and fucking all that. So, you know, no, of course they're not going to show any amount of respect or even hold back a show of force to them because they're a non-factor to them. It's not like you or I, if a burglar was breaking into your home, you'd shoot him immediately. But if the cops are coming into your house to get him, you're not really going to shoot a cop, right? But these people are totally different. They have no distinction between that and that.
Yeah, they're just, you know,
they have
heathens. There's heathens.
Exactly. Them ATF agents are a non-factor to these people.
There's a lot of video recordings of Koresh you can see, and he talks about exactly that. If someone's breaking into my house and threatening my family and my children, I will act with deadly force. Doesn't that sound like the tone of a man who is a peaceful religious leader? You know what I mean?
But at the same time, that statement is true. And you would do the same thing? If someone was breaking into your house to harm your family and children, you would use deadly force as well.
Fair enough, but generally it's not.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying the statement's wrong. The statement's not wrong. His statement's 100% accurate, and everyone would do the same thing.
But his house isn't your standard house.
Exactly.
His family isn't your standard family.
No.
And his collection of
but at the same time,
isn't your standard collection of items.
But at the same time, who are we to judge on his version of family?
That's what I say too. It's freedom of religion in this country, and whether you worship a potato or you worship Christ, I support that. It's in the Constitution.
I also support freedom from religion, though. Also, so if you don't want to, you don't have to.
It's the same thing.
It can't be pushed on you. Yeah, freedom from and of.
So if you want to take 20 wives, that's fine as long as they're religious wives and not like.
That's not fine.
It's fine if
no,
they're religious.
No, it's not.
Stay with me, and they're not in the system, and you're not reaping the benefits of having a weird family set up like that. That's fine. Take your 20 wives and do what you got to do in Utah or wherever you're doing it.
Because that's the only place they let that shit go down.
What if that's what you believe in your heart and that's what way you're going to go to God? I don't care. You know, if
I care if you're molesting kids.
Now there's where you draw the line.
You know what I mean? You want to take 20 women and they want to
molesting children is one thing, and that's horrible. Everybody knows that. What about from the beginning of the time they're born, the brainwashing of them into that? Like that kid who said
it's not sexual molestation, but it's molestation nonetheless.
Like that kid who said, "I don't ever have to worry about going to college." He never thought he was going to college.
No, because the world was going to end. There's no point in going to college. He won't be alive for college. That's what he was thinking. That's what they had told him in brainwash. I feel like that should be just as illegal.
It's a whole different type of fucking abuse.
It's definitely abuse, though. It's definitely.
And you know what's
abuse.
funny is those kids can live a happy childhood, completely happy childhood, knowing they're going to die because that's how they just raised. It's a happy thing. This is the way your life's going.
Well, when you're
your society,
when you're exposed to certain things at a younger age, it's not as detrimental. You know what I mean?
Right. So.
As it would be if you were, I mean, if you're in a war-torn country like Pakistan or Afghanistan or whatever, and you're a little kid and you see, you might see a dead body on the street at 6, 7, 8 years old. You're going to see something like that. Now, people that grew up in the suburbs or whatever, that's not something that you're exposed to all the time. So that could be a little more devastating to someone at 20 years old from middle America versus someone from 20 years old from Afghanistan. You know what I mean?
Well,
because they've been subjected to that before.
Right. Between a banker and a guy who just got back from Nam, they're going to feel a little different about it.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, you got anything else for today on this topic? Because I want to talk about next week we're going to be talking about Skinwalker Ranch, which is going to be a pretty cool topic. Nick, he's in chat today. That was his idea.
Have something.
What'd you have?
Oh, of the Branch Davidians that were arrested, that made it out alive, that had came out,
Right.
11 were acquitted of their crimes, and 7 were charged with involuntary manslaughter.
All of which now are out of jail. Many of them, actually, we saw an interview with a guy today who thinks that David Koresh was still completely in the right.
This guy's still totally brainwashed. From 25 years ago, he's still brainwashed.
Koresh is still the Messiah beyond the grave, and they're all going to be reunited.
Still going to come back.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. That's just a bad little thing happened back then, but it's going to be good again.
And on the other hand, some people have come out of the spell, so to speak, and now know that Koresh was full of shit. He most likely was not a Messiah.
Yeah,
considering nothing happened.
Hindsight's 20/20, man.
I don't understand how End of Days works or Messiah shit works. Maybe I don't really know the rules. So
okay, so I guess end of days would be like there ain't going to be any more days.
Maybe the end of days, Armageddon, starts at a point in time that is the same for everyone. We'll all get there at the same point in time. You know what I mean? We die today, tomorrow, whenever. We all arrive at that same point in time. And maybe
so you're saying the biblical Armageddon is just every person's end times?
Well, how about every person who ever lives, they end up at the same point. Right there.
At the same time?
Maybe we all head into Armageddon. I don't know. At the same time, right.
So maybe it's purgatory and they're all just waiting there for everyone else to get there.
Think about it like this, a time machine. I wait 10 years to get to 2027.
Okay.
You take a time machine there in 2027. We consider you died today, but you ended up there instantly at the same time it took me 10 years ago. But we all got to the same place, and it's at the same time. Think about it fourth dimensionally.
Right. You're just not thinking about it fourth dimensionally.
Yeah, you're like Marty, and I'm a little bit like Doc, and time travel really fucks with you. That makes me kind of want to
Time travel does fuck with me, though. That's a hard concept.
I want to redo that.
To understand it properly, though,
well, it's not
it's
real.
a hard concept. Well, no, it's not real. But to understand exactly
other than our general flow through time that we're currently experiencing.
I don't even want to talk about time today. I don't have enough brain power left for fucking time, okay?
You got some people asking for, who is that? Lauren's asking for a show on Plump Island. I don't even know what the fuck Plump Island is. So maybe we'll get around to looking at it. Let me write it down in our handy dandy little
Plump Island
ideas thingy.
Plump is funnier. I look forward to next week. With a bunch of small topics.
Give them a group reminder on how to get onto the group while I'm looking for.
Yeah. If you guys aren't part of the group yet, this is the official Surreal Talk, Cults, Conspiracies, and the Paranormal Facebook group. Please get on and join the group. There's a lot of good, interesting discussions that happen there. Pictures. Links.
There's been a little bit of drama in there lately.
Yeah, it'll be all right, though. We'll get it straight.
Let's talk about it. Fuck it. So Up until recently, we've been a slow burn up to getting close to 1,000 members. We get close to 900, and out of nowhere, maybe we hit Facebook.
1,200 in 4 days, probably.
Yeah, we get 300 members somehow out of nowhere. Whether or not somebody paid for it, which I personally think somebody did, or we hit Facebook suggested groups and just a lot of people started doing it, we're still getting a fair amount of people. But a lot of people who didn't know that that group is based around a show.
A lot of people don't even know it's a podcast. A lot of the new people that joined our group don't even know that Surreal Talk is a podcast.
Right, so they come in there doing the same thing that they do in every other group.
Yeah.
Incite people, pick on people who believe in flat Earth, or whatever, and it's been kind of ruining the atmosphere. So I had to kind of get down on them today. We're deputizing people now. We've gone Johnny Law, and we're giving people the power to turn off posts. God, I wish it never would have come to this, but this influx of people has shit on the atmosphere of the group for now, but we are bringing it back.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to bring it back. And Scott right now is our only deputized person other than my wife. She's been there since the beginning, mostly for letting people in. But Scott Seegers is so far sheriff numero uno.
Yeah, definitely. But you still owe him a fucking shirt.
Yeah, well, he'll get it eventually. Maybe 2. I doubt it.
So final thoughts on the Branch Davidians, man? Crazy?
Definitely a cult.
Definitely a cult. Definitely
crazy. Should it have gone down the way it did? No. Did people on both sides want it to go down the way it did? Probably.
Are people on both sides to blame? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So both sides could have did things to make that more peaceful of a
resolution.
Yeah.
Could've.
Yeah. I mean, it could have went down a lot easier.
I would say it's worth taking some time. Get on YouTube. There's any number of documentaries you can find freely on YouTube. To check this out. Look for the ones that show a lot of David Koresh interviews. Get an idea see if you can get a feel for if this guy was really a believer or just full of shit trying to get people to follow him. That's the hard part. It's hard to figure out if that guy was genuine from the amount of shit I watched.
And that's what we talked about, man. You know, that's the thing with cult leaders. You got to try
I
to
think he was
decide whether
half
they
genuine.
believe their own bullshit.
Right. I think he was half genuine and half wanted to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 1, I do believe in God, but 2, I believe in boobies.
Yeah.
And I believe in a lot of them.
Yeah.
So,
I could use me 20 wives. You know what I mean?
Right. Find us on Twitter at Surreal Talk Show, on Facebook at Surreal Talk Podcast, surrealtalkpodcast.com.
Join our live stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. At www.youtube.com/Surreal Talk Podcast live stream.
No, that's not right at all.
No.
YouTube.com/Surreal Talk Podcast. Just go ahead and subscribe there and you'll get a notification. Or you can go to youtube.com/Surreal Talk Podcast/live. And if we are live, you will be okay. That's why I say just subscribe. You'll get a notification and instant link on whatever platform you're on.
Definitely. Yeah, we appreciate it, everybody, for listening to the podcast.
Patreon's going again pretty good. That's our voluntary subscription service, blah, 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 blah. If you're interested in checking out how to support us in between the shows, you go to patreon.com/Surreal Talk. And read up on the info that's there. We've been doing okay. We got about $80 a month in month-over-month contributions, which is great. We really appreciate that.
Definitely.
And other than that, I'm done.
I have nothing else, no.
Skinwalker Ranch next week. I'm real interested in learning about this. This is a topic people have been trying to get us to do for a year.
A long way. Well, yeah.
A long time. So finally, let's get this one over. We'll find out what's going on at Skinwalker, a.k.a. the only thing I can think of, Skywalker.
It sounds like
Ranch.
it sounds sexual to me. Skinwalker.
Sounds like a vampire daywalker.
Daywalker, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening. We will catch you all next week.
Yes, we will.
Last word.
There was a Russian guy that got suicided also.
Clear on the recording.
There was a Russian dude. What was that guy's name? Had to take his ass out.
You're talking about the Mad Russian?
On the group though.
Rasputin?
No, on the group.
Oh, the other day somebody got taken out on the group?
Yeah, and it was he was Russian. I can't remember though.
Hey, reminder again, anybody who won a code today, I guess whoever won the codes, email us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com and we'll work on getting you those codes. Eric, you're being requested to show your nips again by Scott.
It's not happening.
It's not happening?
I'll rate the episode. 6.
Oh, rate the episode. I'm going to say 4.
4?
Not a huge fan of this one.
Really?
Audience, rate it. Lauren says 8.5. I think you're full of shit, Lauren.
Right.
Igor is the guy that apparently got suicided. I don't know who that is.
Igor. Oh, yeah, that's right. His name was Igor.
Really? I don't know about it.
Yeah. No, I'm married, so I don't have sex. That's
April, I forgot to put our tickets in at the at the picnic, your company picnic earlier, so we're not winning any door prizes. Sorry to tell you this now, but if I end up dead, this is why.
Definitely.
Okay. 7-2. I'm with
Zach
Scott.
Mullins has emailed us.
Cool.
And
I'll
he's
get
the
with you,
code.
Zach. He's Azriel. I recognize the.
Yeah.
Cool. 4.5. Yeah, I'm with you there, Zach. 6. The chat was 11.5. Chat's always 11.5. Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch, I'll be better next week.
Definitely. Should be good.
Yeah, these topics like this one, man, there wasn't a lot of meat to it because there's not a lot of background other than who the Davidians were, where they come from, who Koresh was, where he comes from. And then they had a siege and people died. There's not a lot you can do.
We should do short stories. All right, this week on Surreal Talk Short Stories, we're going to the Branch Davidians. They came, they saw, they died. Story over.
Not a god.
Yeah, not a god. Yep, he was crazy. Final answer.
All right, man. You about ready to head home?
Oh, yeah.
Ape, if you're listening still, I don't know that you are. Oh, you are. You are. Remember yesterday I told Eric, or I asked Eric if he can drive himself up? Well, that went sideways. I had to go pick him up, and now I got to take him home. So it's going to be about a half hour before I get home.
Yeah, I'm an a-hole.
He's an a-hole. Apologize to my wife for keeping me.
I'll headbutt the microphone. She'll get the picture.
Go ahead. There you go. I think she'll get the picture. All right, everybody. We'll catch you next week. See you in the group. Blah, blah, blah. Wake up.
I wasn't asleep.
No, that's the
Oh, yeah, that's the end of it. Wake up. Yeah, that one fucking crazy guy.
Catch you all next week.
Yes, we will.